There are shows with psychics.
And there are shows with doctors.
But there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
and street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Basili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit,
in tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street-smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic
and the Doc, and it starts now. Welcome, everyone, to the Transformation Network, to The Psychic and the Doc. I'm Mark Anthony, JD, Psychic Explorer, and my co-host, Dr. Pat Basili, was unable to make it tonight, so we have one of our producers and a regular substitute co-host, if you will, Rocky Trainer. Rocky Trainer is not just a producer for Transformation Network. She is a woman of many talents with a background in film, TV, stage, radio, all the performing arts. She's also my business manager and travels with me when I'm on speaking tours. And we got a number of tours coming up, or a number of events coming up this year. Tonight's theme is, what do the petals on the shamrock mean? Because St. Patrick's Day is coming up on March 17th. So, Rocky, we were talking before we went on air about the shamrock. And I know that you have some unique insights about the mysticism behind four-leaf clovers versus shamrocks.
Well, I do. And as you know, if you've been in my kitchen, I have had a shamrock plant for years in my kitchen. It was a housewarming gift as good luck, and this plant has thrived for years and has the most beautiful little tiny blossoms. And it's interesting, it weeps at night and closes up, almost looks like butterflies, and then in the morning it opens up, and behind the leaf, believe it or not, as green as it is, it's purple on the underside.
Wow.
And it's just a lovely plant. And I've had it for years, and I just love this thing. And it'll die back, and all of a sudden new sprouts, which brings me to the spiritual aspect of the shamrock, which is about faith. And originally, when St. Patrick went to Ireland, he was actually an Italian guy that went to Ireland, and to explain the Trinity, he used the shamrock as an example of understanding of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So that's quite interesting. But what I also found out too, the Druids, which was an intellectual elite and keepers of the oral folklore of Ireland, they would speak about the mysticism of the Irish people. And then there was another sect of I guess, priests of that time. They were visionary poets, and they would speak in prose, and they were like ones that would actually bring beautiful speech and beautiful stories that would rhyme so people would remember it. And a lot of the psychics and seers of that time fell into that category, and they would travel from village to do that. And they were highly respected. And of course, they would speak of the fairies and of the elementals.
Elementals. Rocky and I, we've been on a number of paranormal investigations, which really are great. So for those of you who's never been on a quote-unquote ghost hunt, I prefer to call them paranormal investigations. It really is a lot of fun, but don't expect everything to be all exciting and dramatic at once. You could be there for several hours before the equipment, or if you're with a medium like myself, picks up on anything. But when something happens, it really is amazing. And we've encountered non-human spiritual intelligence, spirits that are not necessarily aligned with people. It doesn't mean they're negative or evil, but they're more aligned with animals and plants,
Nature.
different aspects. And elementals have been given different names all around the world. In England, there are fairies and sprites. In Ireland, there are leprechauns. In the Nordic countries, there are elves and gnomes. In Japan, they're the kami. In Hawaii, the metahune. I mean, so wherever you go around the world, everybody's got their interpretation of elementals. Now, the ancient Druids, like Rocky brought up, they were very mystical people, and the Druids practiced a pre-Christian belief system. So, obviously before Christianity, Europe had other belief systems, and the Druids actually believed that the shamrock could ward off evil spirits. And so when St. Patrick introduced Christianity into Ireland, like Rocky said, the three petals stood for Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, the Christian Trinity. But other people in Ireland believed that the three petals stood for faith, hope, and love. Now, that brings us to the four-leaf clover. All right, now the four-leaf clover has an additional meaning: faith, hope, love, and luck. And it's considered very lucky in Ireland to find a four-leaf clover. And what's cool is that belief is actually transmitted to the New World, all over. And many people, they really try very hard to find a four-leaf clover, believing it will bring them some form of good luck. So, Rocky, the clover plant that you have, has it ever sprouted a four-leafed?
Never.
Never. Well, let's say it hasn't.
But I
just
have
yet.
found four-leaf clovers though in my grass, which is kind of fun. But never this particular plant. No.
Yeah, I have too. And I was curious before we did the show. I was looking at, well, what's the botanical difference between a shamrock and a four-leaf clover? And the primary botanical difference is that a shamrock is a standard trifoliate, meaning it has three leaves, and a four-leaf clover is a rare genetic mutation of the same plant, meaning, okay, there's a genetic anomaly where it grows a fourth petal.
Yeah.
So I was thinking there's some, strange mystical type plant. It's basically part of the, I guess, lucky genetic mutation club. So for everyone who's listening, this is a call-in show, 1-800-930-2819. This is the Transformation Network, and I'll be taking calls, and Rocky and I will be taking calls from listeners. I'll be conducting mini readings with the objective of connecting callers with their loved ones in spirit. I'm not a fortune teller, so if you want to call up about love life, career, and all that, spirits may bring that up, but that doesn't necessarily mean they will. Also, what people have to keep in mind with spirit communication, many times folks will go into it with a specific agenda. I want to know this. Well, we all want to do that, and there's nothing unusual about that. But you have to realize, if you go into with I want, without meaning to, you're creating angst. And that angst is part of what I have termed the no, no, no syndrome. In spirit communication, when something comes through and I'll ask, do you recognize this, or does that make sense? When people go to a hard no, they start shooting everything down. What happens is they're inadvertently creating a barrier. That's why I always recommend for callers, for people I'm doing readings for, it's better to say, I'm not sure. Let me think about it. I don't know just yet. Why? Because energetically, that leaves the door open. And think about when you ask somebody for something and they say no, as opposed to let me think about it. And it's the same with spirit. So if we know them or overthink, hyperanalyze things, they're going to back off. So I'm just bringing that up for the benefit of the callers that I'll be doing readings for. So Rocky, in June, we've got the Society for Scientific Exploration in June, and that's going to be between June 17th and the 21st. And that's going to be actually in Westminster, which is a suburb of Denver. If people would like to find out about that particular conference, and I will be speaking there, and I will also be conducting spirit communication events, please go to my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com. Just like my latest book, The Afterlife Frequency. Go to the calendar of events, but I also recommend you sign up for my newsletter. Why? Because that will keep you up to date on what I've got coming up. And plus, every week I'm here on The Psychic and the Doc. And if I'm not here with Rocky, then I'll be here with Dr. Pat.
And Dr. Pat will return next week. And we're looking forward to that because she's so great on her comments of your readings and adds so much to the show. And that's why it's called The Psychic and the Doc. And I'm very excited to be here with you this evening. And in a few minutes, we will bring on our first callers. And for those of you who would like to call in and are online or listening at home, please call in 1-800-930-2819. And Jessica, our executive producer, will pick up the phone and cue you in on the queue for you to be here with Mark and myself.
Yes, and for when you call in, make sure you're only speaking on your phone. Do not use a speakerphone, and turn the speakers on your computer or whatever else you're listening to off. Why? Because your phone will pick up the electromagnetic frequency from the speakers, and it'll cause feedback and sound quality issues. If you want to get a decent reading, you got to have good sound quality. So work with us, and we will work with you. So Jessica, I think we're going to a break now, and then in just a few moments, Rocky and I will be back. So this week, it's the Psychic and the Shamrock are here. The Shamrock.
The She-Rock.
The She-Rock. All right, so thank you, everybody. I'm Mark Anthony, JD Psychic Explorer. This is the Psychic and the Doc on the Transformation Network, and we'll be back in just a minute. I'm Mark Anthony, author of The Afterlife Frequency. But don't expect a dry treatise. This book educates, entertains, and reads like a juicy novel.
Joining us today is psychic lawyer Mark Anthony. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I don't think there's another person on the planet anywhere who shares this guy's resume.
He's been on Coast to Coast, a radio show with me for years. He's a psychic lawyer, but he's the real deal.
This book also provides hope in coping with grief, crime, murder, PTSD, and survivor's guilt. The Afterlife Frequency teaches you my 4-step raft technique. Recognize spirit contact, accept it as real, feel it without fear, and trust the message.
Tired of feeling exhausted as a parent? I would love to help you with a new vision for yourself that is focused on intentional wellness parenting. My name is Aurelie Cormier, and I have over 40 years' experience with complex cancer patients. I offer consultations, coaching, and educational programs for parents who want to boost their health and reduce risk of disease, especially cancer. For more information, go to aureliecormier.com.
Luvology is where your body remembers what your soul never forgot. I work with men and women who are often at the edge of midlife, who are done with surface-level living. People who've built the life but still feel numb, who ache for something deeper, more presence, more truth, more touch. We work with what's been silenced: desire, shame, grief, raw pleasure, and the truths your body has been whispering for years. Using ancient practices, modern science, and yummy, delicious sex tools that awaken rather than perform, we reclaim what it means to feel deeply and live turned on from the inside out. This isn't about fixing. This is about remembering. This is conscious hedonism, rooted, real, and alive. If your body's been asking for more, you are in the right place. This is Luvology. Want to go there? Book a compatibility call at gwenemcarsley.com. Let's begin.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and I want to welcome you to the Real Healing Institute. This is your invitation to my spiritual circles, where your energy is read, your life receives channeled clarity, and your soul is mirrored by others walking this path with you. Come and be seen, guided, and activated. These spiritual circles are sacred containers, personal energy readings, channeled guidance for your life, and a conscious community where insights flow and souls remember who they are. Visit therealhealinginstitute.com to sign up.
Welcome back to the Psychic and the Doc here on the Transformation Network. I'm here with co-host Rocky Trainer. So tonight it's not the Psychic and the Doc, but the Psychic and the Rock. And Rocky's appeared as a co-host with me on several shows, and so she is one of our producers and all around amazing lady. Now, for those of you, we were talking about luck, okay, because of the four-leaf clover being luck. Well, tomorrow is Friday the 13th. Now, a lot of people, when it comes to luck, think that's an unlucky day. And there's actually a condition, a psychological condition known as frigatriskaidekaphobia, which means fear of Friday the 13th. In fact, U.S. businesses lose close to $1 billion every Friday the 13th because people don't want to travel. They stay home. They don't go to school. And so businesses will lose money because people are actually afraid something negative will happen on Friday the 13th. So, Rocky, what do you think about Friday the 13th? Is it lucky, unlucky, or indifferent?
It's lucky. I look at it as lucky. And I always find it fun when we travel to look at the hotel elevators or the conference elevators to see if there's a 13th floor. And most of the places we go to now actually have the 13th floor.
And now they do. They used to not. And, you know, people, and
all.
it's funny because we'll be checking and they go, do you mind staying on the 13th floor? And we're like, hey, if you can give us room 1313, we'll take it. Speaking of taking, let's take some calls. Jessica,
Yes.
who do we have? Who do we have up first?
Awesome. Yes. Let's go to Joanne from South Carolina. Joanne, you are live on the Psychic and the Doc.
Hi, Joanne.
Yes, hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Happy to be here. How am I doing? Taking it day by day.
Okay. How can Rocky and I help you, Joanne?
My son passed away on
so
January the 24th. And
and you're devastated.
I know you don't want me to say too much. I am.
It's okay. You can say whatever you
devastated.
want. Joanne, we're not going to censor you. I work with an organization, and so does Rocky, known as Helping Parents Heal. And I recommend you look them up. Go to helpingparentsheal.org. And it's a beautiful community, a nonprofit organization that reaches out and to help people like yourself. And it's other parents who've lost children. So let me open up the frequency and see if we can get your son to step forward, and realize somebody else may come through first. Sometimes the person you want to hear from the most is not always the first one to step forward. And don't worry about crying or shedding tears. That's the healthy thing to do. If you have some water or tea or something, go ahead and take a sip, take a deep breath. On the count of three, I want you to do something with me, Joanne. On the count of three, we're going to take a deep breath through our nose, And this for all the listeners, and then gently exhale through your mouth. Okay, Joanne, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Inhale through your nose. Now, exhale through your mouth. That's a focusing exercise to help also lower anxiety. I do have a male energy coming through, and when I'm getting with him, and I realize sometimes my descriptions can be very graphic, but the male spirit who's coming through, I'm having concentrated difficulty in my throat. So this could mean difficulty with swallowing or breathing, but I'm also getting this dense sensation in my lungs and chest. I'm also getting pressure in my stomach. So pretty much my whole abdominal region and lungs, also difficulty breathing, and I'm getting a queasiness. So something was going on prior to passing, which was affecting his digestion, his stomach, his intestines. I'm also getting a dizzy sensation. The dizziness can be something going on with him just prior to passing. Could be a medical condition, could be some type of the drugs or alcohol. Let me see if I can get some more. Ow. Sorry, Joanne, I don't mean to say ow, but when I get an ow, I'm getting a sensation that indicates that this could either have been trauma or very abrupt or unexpected. And the reason that I say that is when I get this pressure to my head, that can indicate either head trauma or abrupt and unexpected passing. Does any of what I just described make sense to you in any way, Joanne?
It does. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was unexpected. I had just spoke to him probably late morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then we found out that he passed. It seems like he may have passed in his sleep, and they found that he threw up what looked like dark blood, so it would have been digested blood, that would have caused him to be nauseous or queasy or have some digestive problems.
Okay. Hold on. He didn't see this coming. I keep hearing, didn't see it coming. Okay. And the interesting thing, I get the sense from him that he always knew on some level that he was not going to have what you and I would consider a long life. There was something about him that he understood his life was going to be shorter. And I keep hearing Michael or Miguel. So Michael or Miguel could be somebody here on planet Earth or in spirit. And obviously Michael's a very common name, and we all know a lot of people named Michael. But I'm getting like Michael or Mike or Miguel. And that could be somebody here on planet Earth or somebody in spirit, could be connected to you or him in any way. Is there anything? And I know I just gave you a whole lot. Let's start with the first part, his sense that he knew he was not going to have a long time here in the material world. Does any of that make sense to you, Joanne?
Yes, he had said that, and I that's not something I ever wanted to hear. But he always had said, I'm probably going to go before you, and of course, as a mother, you don't want to hear things like that.
Okay.
And yes, it was sudden because he was in very good spirits the day before. He had been in very good spirits, looking forward to the future and looking forward to finding work.
Who's the Michael or Miguel? And if that doesn't make sense, just write it down. That's fine. Now, he keeps saying Uncle Sam, Uncle Sam. Now, there could be somebody named Sam in spirit with him who's an uncle. When I think of Uncle Sam, I think about an event in July because of July 4th. Uncle Sam is also a slang nickname for the U.S. government. Is there a Sam, or is there some significant event within the month of July, such as a birth, death, anniversary, or event, which could be connected to him or to you in any way, Joanne?
The only thing that I can think of is my husband and his brother had been estranged, and my son was trying to get them back together again. But his name is not Sam, but it's his uncle, and they spoke yesterday and they reunited. So that's the only uncle part.
That's fine. What about July? July. And remember, it doesn't have to be related to your son. July could be of significance to you in any other way. Because I'm specifically seeing 4th of July. 4th of July. I'm seeing fireworks and all that. You said, I wonder if. Go ahead. Go with what hits you first, Joanne.
I'm wondering, she had a love for a little girl who actually, she's a teenager now, that he helped raise. Her name is Alice. And I'm thinking maybe her birthday was in July. I'm not really sure when her birthday was, but this was someone he loved dearly.
Okay. All right. So just write those down, because these are the type of things that may make sense to you later on. Let's get a message from him for you. All right. Hold on.
Okay.
He said, Mom, you always do everything nice and neat. Nice and neat. He said, everything in your life is always organized, compartmentalized, put away. And he said he always appreciated that about you. He also got a big kick out of that. He said, because I was the one that always came in and created a mess. And when he says created a mess, it's like I'm seeing like a typical, guy, socks everywhere, clothes everywhere. He said he kind of created a whirlpool of chaos and disorganization in your very, very organized world. And he said it was never done to antagonize you. It's just how we were. And both of us, you and he, respected each other's differences and got along really, really well. He said, sadly, though, that is what my death has done to your life, is created this whirlwind of chaos. And he said, and he's saying to me, the amazing thing is how, as devastated as you are, you're actually beginning to create order within the chaos. This doesn't mean that you're anywhere near accepting or I never like saying getting over, because you never get over loss of a loved one. Said, but it's like you never do. But he said you're putting the pieces back together, and he's very impressed at how well you are handling everything. Now, he keeps showing me oysters. I'm seeing piles of oyster shells. Oysters could mean pearls. Pearls are the birthstone for the month of June. So there could be a birth, death, anniversary, or event connected to you, your son, or someone close to you within the month of June. Could mean something with pearls, piece of jewelry of significance with pearls, or something about oysters or oyster shells. I mean, I'm just seeing piles of oyster shells. Anything there?
I can't think of anything regarding oyster shells. I'll again have to think about that.
Hold on. Go ahead. Go with what hits you first. My interpretation's one thing, but the reading's about you. So if I say oysters, what immediately hits you? Oysters.
I know he liked to take his dog to one of his dogs he's a big animal lover. One of his dogs loved to splash in the water. So I'm wondering if that meant that he would take the dog by the water to run in the water, and there would be maybe oyster shells there.
No, you don't stretch to make it fit. Hold on. Don't worry about how it applies to your son. If I say oysters, do you love them? Do you hate them? Allergic to shellfish? What do oysters mean to you?
I don't have a recollection of anything having to do with oysters. Now,
what about the month of June? Remember, it does not have to apply to your son. Oh, and he said you're having an issue with the door. You're having an issue with the door. The door. All right. What is there a door? Could be on a house or a car. Some issue with the door.
Yeah, my husband has to fix it. It's closing, but it's not locking. So he had to take the plate off. So the door is not closing all the way. So he actually had to take the plate off so that when the door closes, it stays closed and can't push it forward. Yeah, the back door.
Okay, so he's around and he knows what's happening. What I think is by bringing up the oysters, he's talking about the month of June, and there may be something that will be happening for you in the month of June. Okay, and this could be a turning point in your grief. Now, obviously, spirits can see the future. We can't. So don't read into it or overthink it. Plus, usually when I'm done doing a reading and people get off the phone, they're like, oh my gosh, June. And they'll think, Aunt Martha, her birthday was in June or whatever. But he is bringing up the month of June, and there is some significance to it. Okay. And he's talking about his dad, and he's showing an injury to a finger, but he's zeroing in on the ring finger. All right. Anything with your husband and his hands, particularly left hand or his ring finger? And obviously, we all put our wedding rings on that. Yeah, go ahead.
I think his finger was bent. My husband's finger has a bend in it from when he was a kid.
And there you go. So that's what I call a verifiable fact following a message. When a spirit gives us a message of an explanatory or advisory nature, there's something about the month of June, and then they follow it up with an objectively verifiable fact, something about your husband's finger, and he has an injury from when he was a child. The verifiable fact of your husband's finger injury is how the spirit, in this case your son, is letting you and I know that we've properly received and interpreted the message before that. Also, the door was another verifiable fact following message, and he just said Tim. Tim could be Tom, but I'm hearing like a Tim or a Timmy. Remember, that could be someone here on planet Earth or in spirit.
Okay, I'll write that down.
All right.
And the organization that you mentioned earlier, that's definitely a fact.
HelpingParentsHeal.org. HelpingParentsHeal.org.
HelpingParentsHeal.org.
Right. And,
and I'm going to grief counseling too.
Good.
Good. Keep doing all that. Yeah.
They're also on Facebook, Helping Parents Heal. We're so very sorry for your loss. I can't even imagine the pain and the grief that you're feeling. You're in everyone's thoughts and prayers. And reach out to the organization, Helping Parents Heal. They're an extremely beautiful organization that helps parents through their grief, and you are a shining light parent because your child is always in the shining light of God.
And Joanne, feel free to check back with us. Okay.
I will. All right. And I read your book. It was very good. The Afterlife Frequency. I read the entire book.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm honored to be of service. God bless you, Joanne.
Many blessings. Be well.
Jessica, who do we have up next?
Okay, let's go to Natalie from Seattle. Natalie, welcome to the Psychic in the Dock.
Hello, Natalie. Hello.
Hi, Rocky. Hi, Mark. How are you guys doing?
We're having an interesting show this evening. Dr. Pat will be back next week. But how can we help you this evening, Natalie?
I'm just going through some pretty big life changes, so I just wanted some help around that. But also I have people that have crossed to the other side. So really, I'm just open. I'm open for whatever comes through.
Natalie, I'm picking up on a male spirit coming through, and this guy had kind of a bulkier build. All right, so he definitely had a few extra pounds on him prior to passing, and he's clutching his heart, okay, and he's laughing about this. He goes, big shock there, big shock there. I mean, I'm not trying to make light of this, but he's a funny guy, and I feel definitely had cardiovascular issues. I'm also feeling tension in the liver and in the kidneys. So he was having liver, kidneys, a little bit of digestive issues, but big time cardiovascular issues. In fact, I feel this pressure and tension in my chest. He feels like he's connected to you through your male side of the family. So that means it could be somebody related to your father, or a male connection could be a spouse, a brother. Does any of this make sense to you? Oh, and he wasn't he wasn't elderly when he passed. This guy looks like he could have been possibly in his 50s to mid 60s.
I believe that's my neighbor coming through.
Okay. Why? All right. Based on what I said, why would this be? Why do you believe this is your neighbor?
He fits the description perfectly. Everything you said, and this is how he passed, was an issue with the heart.
Okay. Now he's kind of a funny guy, and he said that your hair hurts. He's talking to you. Your hair hurts. Now I know that sounds weird, but this could mean maybe something's going on with your hair. You want to redo your hair or do a new style. But he says your hair hurts. What's going on with your hair?
When I got it colored, maybe 2 months ago, but it was so bright red that it was actually embarrassing. And it the color kept coming out. The color kept coming out for a month, and it just, in the shower, it would just run red, and it was just so embarrassing. So now I'm being very careful about going back to that stylist.
Yeah, I think that's probably good advice. This guy is hilarious. Let's see why. I know I got Tim in the last caller, but I keep hearing Tim or Timmy. Tim could be Tom or Jim, but I keep hearing Tim or Timmy.
Yeah, Tim is my boyfriend's father, who's still living.
Okay. All right. So somebody wants to talk about Tim. That's your boyfriend's father. Does Tim not have the best diet in the world?
I would agree with that. Right.
Okay. Is your boyfriend's mom in spirit? And the reason that I ask is there's a female spirit that's transmitting this to me. It could be your boyfriend's mom, or it could be Tim's mom.
Tim's mom.
Oh, she's in spirit? Okay. So we'll just, for the sake of brevity, we'll just call her your mother-in-law. Okay. I mean, I know she's technically not your mother-in-law. Let's see what she has to say for you. Interesting. She said, put on your shoes, stand up straight, and stop whining. She goes, you can handle anything coming your way. All right. This woman must have been very abrupt. But she's giving you a pep talk. Put on your shoes, stand upright, stop whining. You can handle anything coming your way. And she said, my son is in your life because he is there to build you up, not tear you down. Build you up, not tear you down. Does any of that resonate with you?
Yes, he's the first person that's actually taken care of me in a relationship. So he does build my confidence a lot.
Well, very good. So you see, you're going through a number of tough things, but you've got somebody here in this world working with you, which, by your admission is a welcome change. And apparently you've got a team of spirits that are working with you as well. Okay. She is saying, though, that when you're in a car, you seem to be scattered, disoriented, and not focusing. What's going on when you're driving?
I can develop a little bit of road rage sometimes that I'm trying to work on. And sometimes I'll look at my phone, but I've become, I'm doing that a lot less. So I think
let's do that like 0. Okay. Because and the reason that I'm saying that is not to pick at you, but when a spirit brings up something like this is an example of what I refer to as spirit intervention. Now, and the reason for that is spirits can see future events, and she obviously sees a situation where not paying attention when you're driving is going to cause an accident, and that's preventable. That's why she's intervening. Okay, so stop looking at the phone. Work on the road rage. Road rage is easy, but you have to realize the person in the car in front of you is not your enemy. Oh, why did they get out of the way? You know, and it's funny. I find myself doing that too. And here I am, a spiritual Dan. Rocky can say that because we drive all over. And she was like, Mark. And I'm like, I know. Usually because I'm hangry. You know, I'm a guy. I'm always hungry. You know, we're always hungry. But the thing is, those are something for you to work on. Rocky, what's your take?
Well, first of all, do not make that phone a priority in your car. It's best to use it for a GPS versus scanning and looking at text, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever you do on the phone when you're in the car. You shouldn't, because your life, it matters, and you do not want to put yourself in a situation to hurt yourself or anyone else, and the expense of having your car smashed up. Remember, there are a lot of other people being distracted by phones. Don't be that a person, and pay attention, because it's important that you're here. You have a mission on this planet, and it's not to be in an accident. So I say that all the time. When I'm on the highway and I see a young person actually having their phone on their steering wheel, I can't believe that they would put their focus in a screen versus what they're driving and where they are. And I have a friend that works in law enforcement, and she works with vehicular homicide, and she says the worst ones are when there's children involved. You don't want to be involved in any of that. So I'm impressing you to change your habits immediately when you get in the car. Do not do that, please.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, and listen to what the spirits are saying. It may be different than what you wanted to hear, but let me tell you something. They know a lot more than we do, and they're saying this is the immediate issue. And be thankful. See, you have hope, faith, love, and now luck in your life with your boyfriend. So be thankful you have somebody in your life that's building you up instead of tearing you down. Okay, be well. Thank you so much for calling.
Great.
Thank you, Natalie. You
All
live
right.
in a great
you.
city, Seattle. Be well. Bye-bye.
God bless. So, Jessica, I think we ought to just keep taking calls from listeners.
Sounds good to me. Let's go to Danette from Connecticut. Danette, you are live on the Psychic in the Dock.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
Hey, Danette, how's it going? How can I help you?
My mom's been calling me. It's going to be 16 years on St. Patrick's Day that she died. I was holding her hand when she died. And I just want to know what she's at calling me. She doesn't call me Danette. When she was calling everybody, my siblings, their names, but I was the baby of the family, so all I'm hearing, baby.
Well,
I just was wondering.
What is that? All right, let's do something a little bit different here. Since your mother has been connecting with you, what do you feel she's trying to get across to you?
I'm thinking she probably is saying thank you for all this time that I've been with her. I've even slept over at the nursing home when she was there, when she wasn't feeling well. I was holding her hand when she died.
Very good. I think you have received the message now. This is going to sound weird, but she keeps showing me remember those little, they look like little miniature hourglasses? They were 3 minutes. They were for making 3-minute eggs. She's holding up one of those, and it's got purple sand in it. So purple's going to mean either the month of February, which, because of amethyst, which is a purple stone. That's the birthstone for February. But she's also talking about soft-boiled eggs. When people make, instead of a hard-boiled egg, like an Easter egg, they do the timer for...
Soft-boiled eggs.
Okay, there. All right, perfect. So we know we got your mom here, and let's see now what she wants you to know. She wants you to look at St. Patrick's Day as a day to rejoice. And by rejoicing, she said it's when she was able to escape the pain, the misery, the physical confines of her body and go into the light. And it's so cute because earlier we were talking about elementals and fairies and things. She just filled my mind's eye with Tinkerbell. A little Tinkerbell flying around, little Peter Pan's little friend Tinkerbell. All right, there's got to be something about fairies or specifically Tinkerbell. What does that resonate with you?
I always called her Munchkin.
You called her Munchkin, but does Tinkerbell or fairies make sense to you in any shape, form, or fashion?
Not that I know of right now. I don't remember.
Hold on. Don't strain and struggle trying to figure out how it applies to her. If I say Tinkerbell or fairy, what does that mean to you? It's like whatever hits you first. Do that, no matter how weird it is. Go for it.
I don't have anything about fairies. Fairy godmothers, tooth fairy.
See, you're overthinking it. Like a fairy is a mystical, magical being. They're free. They're like butterflies. They're energetic. They're really positive beings. And I think that's what your mother is transmitting, is that's kind of like, she hasn't turned into a fairy per se, but she's got that freedom and the magic. Also, what she's telling me is that, yes, you're very spiritual, but you tend to get very, please forgive me, these are her words, mopey. She says you get very mopey and blue, and you are missing the magic in your life.
Yeah, I am. That's my mom.
All right. Rocky, what's your take before we go to our next caller?
Well, write everything down that Mark said and just let it go, and it'll come to you. And I want to thank you for calling in again, Danette. I want to wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day, because it's a day that you can honor your mom. And thank you for calling.
Yeah.
And we're going to go on to our next caller. Thank you again.
Thanks,
Be well.
Danette. Okay, Jessica, who do we have next?
Okay, let's go to Angela from Texas. Angela, you are live on the Psychic in the Doc.
Lovely. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Angela, how you doing?
Welcome, Angela. How can we help you today?
I'm doing well. I've just been always thinking of my dad. I've survived a year without him already, and had some milestones with dealing with his estate. So I've got my sisters supporting me as well. So doing well overall. I'm a little, I didn't think about Friday the 13th until I heard you guys talk about mentioning the Friday the 13th. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so hopefully that's a good thing. But
it will be.
I'm just trying to see
will
what,
be.
Yeah, good.
Hey, it's so funny when you start talking about your father, and go with me on this. I heard fee, fi, fiddly-I-o, fee, fi, fo, fee, fi, fiddly. All right, that's that. I've been working on a railroad. I've been working on the railroad. All right, so that when I get railroads, that could mean something about trains, like maybe you or your dad liked trains or had to travel by train, or there's some significant memory of a train. It could be as easy as, hey, we used to put a train around the Christmas tree. Sometimes when I get trains, it's one of my triggers for Missouri, St. Louis. Okay, so it could be a Louis or Louise, or it could be somebody that may be coping with a drug or alcohol problem. I could explain why all that, but all that's what's going on in my brain. Any of the above makes sense?
Yes, he loved trains. He had train around his Christmas tree. I recently got a train from his house. Also that song about it reminds me of
fee, fi, fiddly-I-o, yeah.
Yeah, and I've always asked Dad, can I quit work or should I keep working? And so I think, hi-ho, it's off to work we go. Maybe he's telling me to keep working.
I've been working on the railroad. Yeah, let's see what he has to say by that. He goes, work gives you purpose. And he's explaining to me to convey to you that if you do decide to stop working, You have to make sure that you have a purpose. He said, one thing about my daughter, if she's idle, she'll go crazy. Now, by crazy doesn't mean to go mentally ill. So, but you're not the type that just can sit around idly. You've got to have a purpose and be consumed with tasks and objectives. That's what he wants you to know.
Sounds good. I agree.
All right. Well, very good. Rocky, do you have anything to add on that?
Angela, you're doing really well. You lost your dad a year ago. Hang in there. Just feel him when he's around. And I'm so sorry for your loss. And call in again. And we would love to hear from you. So thank you.
Thank you, Angela.
And thank you. You guys are really helpful as well. Thank you.
Thanks. God bless you.
And then can I?
Go ahead.
Oh, Timmy. I have Tim and Timmy right next to me because he's my husband, and I don't know.
Oh, so that's the Tim and
People
Timmy I've
calling
been
up
getting
with
all
Tim
night.
and-
All right, well then that is your dad saying hello to Tim and Timmy. See, what happens is spirits don't just line up like, hello, I'm spirit number one. They all come in a group. And even though the callers don't know each other, trust me, your spirits do. Well, thank you, Angela.
Thank you for verifying that. That's
Thank you for the
awesome.
verifying. And Tim and Timmy, thank you for just being there. Okay. Hey, Jessica, do you think we got time for another caller?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's let me just look at my list here. Okay. So let's
Amanda.
Okay, we've got Amanda. Let's see. Okay. Amanda from Connecticut. You are live
Great.
on the Psychic in the Dock. Welcome.
Hi, Psychic Mark.
Hi, how you doing, Amanda?
Good. I was hoping to talk to you and Dr. Pat, but at least I get to talk to you today.
Amanda. All right, hold on. I can't understand a thing you're saying. It's all very muffled.
Hello?
Yeah, that's better. That's better. All right, Amanda, how can I help you? All right,
I'm the
Amanda,
one with
we're
the
running
whole
out of
job
time, so you
experience.
gotta tell me. How can I help you?
I'm starting to feel uncomfortable at the new job this week, and I was looking to see what could be causing it and what direction I should go in with the new job already.
Well, instead of contacting the spirit world, what is it about this job that's bothering you?
I felt that I was treated differently at my last shift. Like, they kind of treated me like I was a special type of person, as if you were in school treated to like special classes when I'm a regular person, and like the way that one of the managements came off that night that was closed and just didn't make me feel comfortable.
How long have you been on this job?
Only a few weeks.
Okay,
maybe a month.
It's not unusual for someone in a new position, especially if these other people have been working together for a long time, to feel like the proverbial fish out of water. Okay, what I recommend is every time somebody does something like that, start documenting it. Just write it down, who said what, how it made you feel. Okay, and at some point you need to talk to your boss, and if the company's big enough and that they have human resources, talk to them and say, this is going on. Because if people are insulting you or demeaning you, then you have the right to bring a complaint. On the other hand, it is, like I said, it's not unusual when you start a new job until you get to be one of the crowd. And I know that sounds ridiculous, and we're all adults, and that shouldn't happen, but it does. It's like when you're a kid and you start a new school, and you're weird or you're different or you're whatever, and then you're the weirdo, and then after a while you become one of the crowd. And so you may be going through that right now, and realize what these people are doing says more about them than it ever does about you. They should be looking at you as, oh, here's a new person. Let's make her feel welcome. Okay? And forgive them, even though they're really ticking you off, and I get it. Forgive them. Don't, and talk to the boss and just say to the boss, say, does it normally take a while for everyone to accept me as one of the crew? Because
One of the team.
I kind of don't always feel welcome here.
I wouldn't say that right away. I would just kind of feel it out, because remember, they were a team before you came in. So now you are now changing the dynamic, and realize that. And if people treat you in a way that I might slight you, I would suggest that you say, why do you ask that? Why is it that you feel this way about me? I would like to put some input into the job, and I hope you accept me, because I just want to make the team better. I'm here to make things better, and just let it be like that. But as Mark says, document things when people do things blatantly against you. However, what you're doing is changing the dynamic, and they have to figure it out too. So it's
and you know what? On Friday, show up with donuts. You'd be surprised
donuts
how far
or cookies.
Donuts. I know, and I'm against sugary foods and all that. But when you're dealing with troglodytes, bring donuts or cookies. Cookies. Bring a bag of Chips Ahoy or whatever.
Or I work in the grocery store. The new store that opened. So yeah, already, Mark.
Well, even though you work at a grocery store, get the employee discount and put it in the break room. Say, I thought we could all.
20%.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, just give yourself some time.
Yeah, say happy St. Patrick's Day. Everyone have a little sweet.
Yeah, there you go. Bring
Happy
some St. Patrick's Day treat. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Or bring everyone a clover for St. Patrick's Day, do something like that. And just say, I thought everyone could use a piece of good luck.
I'm glad we're making you laugh.
See? There you go. Well, thank you for calling in. We're running out of time here. I want to thank my co-host, Rocky Trainer, for being here. And thank you, Rocky. I want to thank all the callers and all the listeners and everyone connected with Transformation Network. I'm Mark Anthony, JD, Psychic Explorer, and I'll be back next week with Dr. Pat Basile here on The Psychic and the Doc. And to everyone, have a very safe Friday the 13th and an even happier St. Patrick's Day.
Patrick's Day coming up next week. Many blessings.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning into The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Basile, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.